You know, Future. Is this Future Bakery, sir? Is this Future Electronics, right? Future Shop. I'm sorry, because there's a Future Bakery, right? How you doing, man? I'm making a little movie on tape here. Sir, can I ask you to? Oh, okay. He's the boss. Can I ask you to help me? I'm late. I'm very late. I'm making a little movie here, right? But I'm not. I'm just using the voice part now. But I was with the guy. Came over here. Is going to punch me in. Got halfway through. I got to be a meeting at 7:30, which is 24 minutes ago. Can you finish? Is there somebody who could finish this off for me? I'm Rubinoff. Yeah, that's me. TDK. I'm getting 2 of those and 1 of these. And he said as long as I don't destroy this, I could start using because I'm working here, right?
You have already paid for it?
No, I don't know what. I don't know. I just said
yes, you
here.
already paid for it because you've got the approval number.
Oh, so why didn't he say to that? He could have said, "I'll be." You know. Look, I'm a little bit upset here. I'll tell you why. Because I'm late. Finish up. Okay. But I know, but you could have said to them, 30 seconds, I got it. You know what I could be out of here, right? Okay? So you got to apologize. Just say sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, thanks, man. Do you want to give your first name or no? I see. But you are a sales associate, are you not?
You can read it.
Okay, what does it say? It says Joey. And you know what? No, yeah, thank you. But we'll change it on the audio. We'll dub it out, okay? We'll call it Jesus, okay? Because you're back and you saved my ass. Because you know what? I don't have enough cash right now to buy these in a cash place. So, and you guys got a good deal, so I came here to Future Shop. So because of you, I've got faith in the future. How does that sound?
Sounds like it's a meeting to it.
I better get out of here. I'm late for my meeting. Okay, thanks. Meeting. Okay, let's sign this. Okay, how much does this cost? Okay. What kind of pen you got here, Joey? That's a felt tip pen, man. You need a ballpoint pen. I know.
I know the rules of being a salesman.
Oh, I didn't know that was a rule. I just thought it would be more effective. But anyway, you having a good time here? Making some good money?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just did a transaction. What percent? You don't have to tell me. But let me get out of here so you can get some more business.
For
Nice to meet you. $7. That's not bad. It was worth it for me as well. Thank you. And you know what? I just want to tell you, if you get a chance, go to this thing called Hot Docs. It's a Canadian International Documentary Film Festival, May 1st to 7th, 2000, Toronto. And there's a lot of great shit going on. You can go there. Do you know a place called the Royal Cinema? The Royal Cinema is right on College Street. College and let me just get the address for you. It's on College and College. It's called the Royal Cinema, man. Just check it out, all right? Here, Royal Cinema, 608 College. That's like, yeah, it's not far. Do you know a place called the Cafe Diplomatico? You got to go check it out. 608 College. Go see some movies there. Take a friend or a girlfriend or something, buy one of these, and go see some cool movies, okay?
Okay, I'll think about it. I can't promise you anything. I'm not much of a theater person.
No, it's movies. What are you into? Music, what?
Like violent movies like Van Damme's and Arnold and...
They got some Nazi documentaries going on there.
No, guns aren't big enough back then.
You really... So I bet you're into video games.
Yeah, oh yeah. Wrestling, video games.
So you want... so you're not afraid all this technology is going to like blow us up at all, or no?
No. Not at all.
No? And
as we say here,
yeah.
You like what the future has in store.
Okay. Thank you, Joey. Have a good night.
Okay. I gotta get back to work.
Okay, bye-bye, man.
Okay, thanks. We'll be seeing a lot of each other.
I'll leave you alone. Thanks, man. Bye.
For $9.99, you get $5 off at HMV.com.
Start your barbecue season off right with a visit to Bruno's Fine Foods. Get started with beef, aged to perfection and cut right on the premises. Or choose from our fresh seafood selection. Try Bruno's air-chilled grain-fed chickens. At Bruno's, you'll find an assortment of ready-for-the-grill products featuring sizzling sausage, fabulous burgers, and kebabs. Stroll along the full-service salad and deli bar or visit our produce section. Start your barbecue season off right at Bruno's, because behind the Bruno's name, there really is a Bruno.
One Seafoam bridesmaid dress, $200. Seafoam dyed shoes, $90. Manicure in Seafoam, $11. worth wearing seafoam for? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted all over. Available in gold and platinum.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Riley Law.
Before your house spends another sleepless night, give us a call.
On the show this month, from General Hospital, the actress Stella Stevens, prima ballerina Karen Kane, fiddling sensation Natalie McMaster, and one guy among the roses, Wayne Gretzky. For tickets, call us at 604-609-5766 or email us at Gabereau@ctv.ca. By Jim Burns, currently wrapping up the, well, actually it was, I believe, a couple of nights ago you wrapped up the last season of the Jim Burns Show.
Yes, we did. We did 20 episodes of our zany comedy half hour and music and variety. And we did. It was a brutal schedule because we were doing them 4 shows a day. And, you know, you're doing 1 show a day.
Don't start with me.
No, why not? Nobody else will.
I'm older than you are. I can't cut it anymore. You know, this daily thing, it's like...
We won't talk about that.
I know, but I am.
But no, we had a lot of fun doing the show.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it's out of the way because I'm busy with a whole lot of other projects as well. And it was nice to be able to put it all in the can and put it to bed. And, you know, it's nice. We had a great time, and there's great staff around here at VTV. And hopefully we're going to be broadcasting it nationally as
That'd be
well.
good. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, some of them are going to go nationally.
Yeah,
that's the rumor, anyway.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
So a couple of years ago, I guess, when Highlander finished here, you were a bit sort of thinking, well, what now? What am I going to do? But, you know, it hasn't been a problem, has it?
No, it's, you know, you go through those periods, as all actors do, man. It's like, I'm never going to work again.
They'll never call me.
And right now I'm doing, actually I'm working on Cold Squad for CTV. I've got
What are you?
a recurring role on that. Picture this, see if you can imagine. I own a bar.
Crazy Guggenheim.
Yeah. Hey, Crazy's at the back. Hey,
Are you going to do it?
No, but I play an ex-cop who owns the bar. Dick's Scene of the Crime. And it's where everybody kind of gathers to...
I wish it were real. It would be fun to go to right about now.
Yes, indeed it would. No.
And I'll open the bar. We'll call it Dick's, and you'll come visit. Okay, Vicki?
Well, I've been doing that stuff on the Jim Burns Show, because on the Jim Burns Show...
That's true.
I also have a bar.
That's true.
And on Highlander, I had a bar. Jim Burns in a bar. Think about it.
It's hard to believe.
What a concept. Anyway, so there's that, and then I'm doing a show for Lionsgate TV, shooting it for Paramount and the Fox Family Channel, which is called Cliffhangers, which stars Joe Orlando, who people might remember from Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. He's got his hair. He's a great guy.
He's got his shirt on, though? I mean,
sometimes he's got his shirt off.
Peel on that shirt off.
Yeah, well, but and it's a real good show. It's interesting. Our producers are an interesting mix in the executive production level. One of them is Doug Schwartz, whose claim to fame is Baywatch.
Yes.
And the other one is Michael Braverman, whose claim to fame was the show Life Goes On, which was about the kid, Chris Kennedy with Down syndrome, and so there's a real mix of the cerebral and the
surreal.
Yeah. And it's a good show. There's some really good, fine young. It's an ensemble cast. Mostly, it's a
Go, Vicki.
A school for kids at risk. It's kind of the last outpost. It's called
That reminds me of like that other one that Winston Record did.
Very similar to that. Yeah. And as I play a fellow called Frank Marcasian, who was the founder of the school, and I've since gone on. I'm sort of a doddering old fool at this point. But,
well, it's because I've got something that's going to do you in every time. I understand that you're playing a cartoon character.
Yeah, I do a number of cartoons. But the one we're working on now is called Beast Machines. And
Give me the beast.
Well, I play a character called Thrust.
Very nice.
And we were doing a show for the show The Minor Leagues as well, which is going to be, I think, on this stage. And that's about baseball, right? And in that I play a guy named Rip.
So it's supposed to Rip.
Yeah. And but that's a lot of fun. And the cartoon thing is really great fun. We actually the one show, the Beast Machines one, you can hardly really even call it a cartoon. It's
what do you play?
It's an animated. Yeah, well, it's computer-driven animation.
Yes.
19th reboot.
Yeah.
And this Beast Machines, Beast Wars, and Beasties, it was called here.
Yep.
Because on YTV you can't say the word war. Anyway.
Good.
Yeah.
Fine with me.
That's okay. But those have been a lot of fun. And then now we're preparing for, it looks like we're going to do another Highlander feature film, which we are going to begin principal photography October 18th in Bucharest, Romania. So,
Just so happens that I have
that's excellent.
Adina.
Yes.
Adina, who does hair on this show.
Right.
She's Romanian.
Yes.
And so she wrote down
That's
all the things that you can say. Please, thank you, hello, goodbye, have a nice day.
okay.
Stuff
Yeah,
like
all
that.
stuff I'm going to be saying. Right?
Yeah. Where's the bar?
Yeah, where's the bar?
Yeah, where's the bar?
2 more.
Would you like to go out for dinner?
Oh yeah, okay. I can use
Would you
these.
like to go? Adina? You're not really going to have that, are you? Stuff like that.
Well, that's wonderful.
Where's the nearest cash machine? Where is the bathroom? That's fine. There you are. There's
Excellent.
your
Well,
list
that's
from
good. Thank you, Adina. This
This
is
going to be
really-
very
this is
helpful. That'll be
fantastic.
dog-eared by the time.
It's brilliant. I mean, it really is. So, I mean, it's exciting because it's not really, not obviously the place to do. Gee, I think I'll go to Romania for vacation, but knowing that I'm going to go, it's really exciting. I mean, I've been doing a lot of reading.
for?
Well, I could be anywhere from 3 weeks to 2 months. It depends on, we're waiting to get the shooting schedule. And hopefully we're scheduled to finish principal photography December the 23rd because apparently everything just shuts down at Christmas. So we got to get out of there. And I hope to be back here for New Year's. Supposed to be doing a New Year's gig here in town. And
New Year's Eve.
Yeah, right.
Musicians,
Happy
man,
New Year.
it never stops. Musicians never get to have a party on New Year's Eve.
No, but, well, we are the party.
Yeah, you are the life of the party. I'll give you that. Well, I wish you luck on Christopher Lambert, the original.
Christophe Lambert is in it, and Adrian will be in it as well. What they're going to do is
a couple of real 3 just doggy guys, eh? I want to go too.
Well, come.
Yeah.
Be my personal assistant.
I will. Mr. Burns, is there anything I can get you? That'd be great. We'd be a great pair over there.
Yeah, that would be fun. We should come.
Okay, fine.
But it's great to see you.
Nice to see
Thanks
you
for having me around.
Yeah, I'll wait for your new album whenever.
Yeah, well, as soon as I get back, I've got everything recorded. I have to mix it, and so it'll be the first of the year when I get back from Romania.
Oh, Romania.
I'll be a different person.
Jim Burns. You said it right. Up next, audience trivia.
This is the new Bell Mobility real-time plan. If Vince Carter can beat me at one-on-one, we'll give you 200 minutes of airtime, free internet access, plus call waiting, call forwarding, and conference calling. Okay, come on, big guy. Oh.
Only Bell Mobility's real-time plan gives you 200 anytime minutes, free internet access, plus lots more. All for just $25 a month.
I have seen the face of extreme capitalism, and it is pretty. On the surface, I feel like, what's his name, man? Dennis Weaver. But underneath, it's like explosions, Bang, bang, bang. Seizures of mind coming together under one roof. Oh, man. Carla Collins. Shay Carla.
She'll do anything.
Oh, hi. Who wants me first?
All in the name of sassiness.
He's got talent.
Shay Carla, Sunday at 10.
We've all got talent. Carla has talent. It's just a matter of, channeling it, right? And being honest with it and embracing it. As I embrace you, Vicki.
Trivia question. I've really learned to love this part because I get to goof around with this audience. This is June Palmer. She's going to try and answer this question today. If you should be tuned in to my question and you know the answer, June, not only, somebody apparently said that they were going to win a car.
Yeah.
But it was really a keychain for a car. And then they sued them and said they want the car. But you're getting this, lucky for you, this whole thing full of roots stuff. Okay, so here is the big question. On tomorrow's show, Robert Mason Lee will be here.
Go for the roots.
Okay? And we want you to tell me the name of the show. I'm going to give you 3 choices, and then you're going to tell me which one. His show is either called A, Crossing the Border, B, On the Edge, or C, Over the Rim.
I believe it's A.
No. No? That'd be wrong. You're finished. Okay. This is Deborah Copeland.
Oh, well. What were the choices?
Oh. Forget the first one. Crossing the Border. This is Robert Mason Lee's show. On the Edge or Over the Rim. And I think we already know that it is not it.
Okay. I'm going to go with C.
You'd be wrong, too. So, guess
Don't I? I mean, it doesn't make sense. No, it's called On the Edge. Called On the Edge. It really should be called On the Ledge. But in any case, he will be here tomorrow, and I look ever so forward to that. Plus, a woman named Barbara Hodgson who is going to talk about a book about opium and its role in art and life and in literature as well. So I'd like to thank Sheldon Kennedy for coming today, and the actor Jonathan Scarf, and of course Jim Burns. So, à demain.
It's the first time in the history of either her or Deanie that I have seen not only one, because that's never happened, like one person not winning, because they always win on the first try, but two. This is insane. What will happen next?
Order a Big New Yorker for $9.99 and get $5 off at HLB.com.
Hey, just finished staying in the gazebo.
Great. What'd you use, redwood or cedar?
Well,
At Home Hardware, there's no need to limit yourself.
so this stain comes in lots of colors.
How many? Wood Shield exterior stain from Home Hardware comes in more than 1,000 colors. All backed by our no-quibble guarantee.
1,000? How did you decide?
Well,
Home Hardware. Cool. What about the fence?
help is close to home.
Something big coming your way. The next Lotto 649 jackpot is estimated at $10 million. Just imagine. So play your Lotto 649 numbers before it's gone. Ever get the feeling that your Lotto 649 numbers, the ones you always play, might just be winners in the next draw?
Just imagine.
Now's the time to play. Hamburgers are only 59 cents on Wednesdays. Big value. We'll be seeing a lot of each other.
Special day here. We have some wonderful people. It's sort of sister day here. Actress Jill Hennessy is here. Great Canadian actress who's done so well. She played Claire Kincaid on one of the best shows going on television still, Law and Order. Yes. And when she left the show, there was a great uproar with fans. We really missed her, and I'm sorry that she was killed, and I'm sad when we watched that. We were just talking about doing a series and then doing the part where you're killed off. Must be very strange, eh? Like, come on, don't get killed today. Come watch this. Jill's twin sister's here, so it's Sister Day. And my little baby sister's here today, which was great. They made her stand and applaud. It's so cool. And if you happen to be suffering from the February blahs, we have the cure. I want you to go back to New Year's Eve, wherever you were, whatever you were doing, okay? I was
a rebroadcast.
Country, and we partied all night because we got in the limo. Actually, we didn't get in the limo because to come to get us, Gerardo, the limo went off the road into the ditch at 4 a.m. on a back road. Here's luck for you, is he got out, and it was perfect. Of all the trees, he went off to one place, the car's fine. He gets out, he's 3 miles from my home, and the paper boy goes by and says, would you like a lift? He drove my car to the airport. That's what we did, and we went to Barbados. Yes. So today we're going to take you there with our first postcard from Barbados. Martha Chapman from Signature Vacation was with us. We had a great time. She's going to tell you about the good things that you can see and do should you go there. Okay, the most intelligent human being on the planet in the history of the Earth was? Come on, Lane, you know all this. Who? Deanie. Oh, God. My sister's come home to borrow money. Why, no, who's the smartest person in the world ever of all time? Einstein would be one, yes. Who else? Leonardo da Vinci is credited as being the most brilliant person in the world of all time ever. So, a man named Michael Gelb has written a book called How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. If Leonardo wrote a self-help book about how you could think like him and explain his creative process, here it is, okay? So you're going to be a genius. We're going to have a wonderful time. We're ready. Let's go. Starring role as Claire Kincaid on Law & Order. It was a couple of years ago, actually. Jill Hennessey's racked up a list of credits, including films like...
Look, Deanie, I love you, but I'll get back to you for Leonardo, okay? I'm running short on tape. Thanks. See you, babe.
Please welcome an extraordinarily talented woman, Jill Hennessey.
True love can be such a sweet harmony if you do the best that you
Crops are rolling and the peaches are rolling. The oranges are piling their creosote buns. Flying a the Mexican border. Spend our money to way back again. Father's own father, he waded that river. Took all the money he made in his life. My brothers and sisters come working in the fruit trees. They rode the trucks till they took down and died. Goodbye to my Juan, goodbye Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportees. Some of us are illegal and others not wanted. Our work contract's out and we've got to move on. 600 miles to the Mexican border. They chase us like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. We died in your hills, and we died in your deserts. We died in your valleys, and we died in your plains. We died beneath your trees, and we died in your bushes. Both sides of the river, and we died just the same. Goodbye, my Juan, goodbye, Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deported. Skyplane caught fire over Los Gatos Canyon. A fireball of lightning, it shook all our hills. Who are these friends who are scattered like dry leaves? The radio says they are just deported. This is the best way we can grow our big orchards. This is the best way we can grow our good fruit. Scattered like dry leaves and right on your topsoil. Can be known by none except deportees. Goodbye, my Juan, goodbye, Rosalita. Adios, mis amigos, Jesus y Maria. You won't have a name when you ride the big airplane, and all they will call you will be deportee.
All right, that's enough of that. I already got him on tape. What are you doing taping from a tape? All right, let's take a break from the tape. I can just listen to him without actually recording everything. You know, I mean, Deanie's got something going on here.
Winning a prize at Sundance.
So when do we get to see this, just before you leave us? We will
I'm
see it.
hoping to premiere it at the Toronto Film Festival.
Oh,
that's my dream.
You'll call us. We'll be there.
Oh, yeah, we'll do. Oh, so wonderful to meet you.
Thank you for Law and Order.
My pleasure. I'm so glad you...
Thank you for the rest, but I haven't seen the rest, so I'll have to go and watch you.
They'll be coming out. They're coming out slowly but surely.
Okay, so we'll watch you. We're going to look for Molly and for the acting class, okay? We'll be back in a second.
White t-shirt, white, black nightgown, darks, stripy thing. Colors. I knew that, honey. Thanks.
With Bell's first rate plan, you can talk for just 10 cents a minute, evenings and weekends, and never pay more than $20 a month. So you can talk as much as you want.
Colors. Don't do that.
Honey, make a
Give them what they want. Coins that mark the moment now and for years to come. Yours to give from the Royal Canadian Mint.
I need some
Everybody get out there and get some money and keep this economy going. And the environment, what's that?
I forgot something.
You wouldn't soak your chicken in water after it's cooked. So why let someone soak it before? That's what most of the competition do with their water chill process. Maple Leaf Prime Chicken has no water added. Tender, juicy, and full of flavor. So what would you rather serve? Maple Leaf Prime Chicken. It's prime every time.
CFTO News at Noon, Trish Dele and CDPlus.com want to give you a chance to win a trip to the Montreal Jazz Festival. Compliments of Verve Records. The grand prize trip includes return airfare courtesy of utravel.com, hotel, and 2 tickets to the festival. To enter, pick up a Trish Dele Fait Accompli ballot at participating grocery stores. Fill in a ballot including the Fait Accompli challenge question and mail it to Trish Dele's Fait Accompli contest or enter online. Then watch CFTO News at Noon on June 27th to see if you've won.
Look who's live. She's the queen of talk.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Vicki Lake. Plus, on Friday, it's Mom's Dream Come True 10th Anniversary Special.
Let's make some dreams come true.
On Live.
And then join Vicki Gabereau.
On the next show, Robert Mason Lee will talk about his new season, and Barbara Hodgson will discuss her book, Opium in Art, Literature, and Life.
Regis and Kathy Lee and Vicki Gabereau starting at 9 tomorrow on CTV.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by the Air Miles Reward Program. Enjoy over 100 travel, leisure, entertainment, and gifts rewards starting from 25 reward miles.
Welcome back. With me is Martha Chapman from Signature Vacation. Over the Christmas break, I had the pleasure of traveling to the island of Barbados. There was a bunch of us that went, Bruce and myself and Nick and Martha and Karen and Marlon. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. We did leave the morning of January the 1st. The plane left at 6:30. Actually, it was a little delayed because that's when the big snowstorm started. You went to bed at
9:30 the night before.
Yes, and the rest of us stayed up and partied all night and got to the airport just in the nick of time. And our first
See, I thought this was going to be the guy who talks about Leonardo, but that's not. So we're going to take a break and be right back with Deanie and Leo after this message. I mean, whatever, 5-10 minutes. I just wanted to say, in the meantime, while Deanie's busy with Barbados, that you really have to learn to forgive yourself, as Sheldon Kennedy said that, or at least his character said, Jonathan. You know, his character, Jonathan, what's his name? What is his name? Jonathan Scarf. Scarf, what a name. That's really great. I mean, it works on many ways. A scarf protects you, you know, from the elements. If you're really hungry, you can scarf down some food. I don't know, just a thought. But what was my other thought about Billy Bragg? I mean, listen to what the guy's saying. You know? I think it's just even more relevant and more obvious today. Like, I'm concerned about the environment. The social environment, the environment, the political, the cultural, the state of the environment for human beings. If we see ourselves as nothing more or less than animals, and then you've got some animals saying, "Hey guys, you're killing the fucking, you're killing, you know, you're destroying us." We, the people who are not the perfect ones, who don't know the technology. Oh, what is it? Survival of the fittest? Is that where we're at? It's one of two choices, as they said at the conference: barbarism or socialism. You choose. But know that you are making a choice, even by not making a choice. Remember? That's what Julian told me. Okay. I was going to say Julian. I used to have a roommate in New York named Julian. He's also Julian. But he was from, not India, but South America, Colombia. Yeah. He loved, you know what he loved? Julian loved Centrum. He thought, man, if I could get these Centrum tablets to Colombia, that would help people there. And, you know, because Centrum has everything you need, you know, and it's all in one little capsule. And anyway, he thought that would help things. Anyway, hey, she's got an interesting woman there in Barbados. Hold on.
That's a good thing. I got one last thing I have to tell you, Michelle. I don't know how to tell you. This is bad news. Your clock is not what? It says, look, it's just 5:15. It's dark out. What happened? They need a battery. Oh, I need a battery. Women are taking over, but they can't get the batteries. I don't know.
We'll have to take another look at that, because that's a wonderful interview. I'm sorry I missed that, Tina.
You know, I mean, wasn't she a wonderful woman? Just so good, so real.
And this is an island full of women like Michelle.
Yeah.
And I think that's also one of the most amazing things about travel today. That morning, we were standing, shivering at Pearson Airport, and that night we were in Oysters, just meeting the locals. And, you know, to go to a place like that and feel so safe, I think that's another cool thing about Oysters.
Yes.
Is you feel very safe.
Actually, we were safe that whole time we were on that island. It was amazing. We really had a wonderful time. We have some more video postcards from Barbados all this week, and tomorrow we're going to show you the story that started the whole journey, the reason we went to Barbados. If you're a regular viewer, you remember I went back to find a ghost that I had seen in a house years ago, and we went back to the same house. Boy, Mrs. Feversham lives in 1999, and we went to her house in Barbados. It's absolutely wild. When we come back, Bartha, that's her Bayesian name, Barthaman, is going to have more on all the great things there are to see and do in Barbados. We'll tell you more about the trip.
So I met this guy named Glenn Hornblast, and Glenn's really cool. He's a folkie, and you know, they're just talking about the power of women, right? And he and I shared something in common, is that we've both been to a place in Mexico that's very much inspired by that same. Well, I don't know, but it's there's some interesting. I'm just waiting for the tape to rewind. This is Glenn Hornblast. This is 1997 offering. I'm not used to doing this, but you have to remember, everyone, that a student's future is built upon the lessons taught by a few outstanding teachers, like Pete Seeger, the folk singer's guitar guide, an instruction record by Pete Seeger. And this was put out when, and geez, do they even put the date on there? He's got to have a copyright date, right? Ouch, sorry, I got to clean up this place. 1955. Oh my God, I'm holding a record from 1955. Is that possible? That's incredible. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. Now I've got this record in my hand. Hold on. I'm going to put this down. You stay, Mr. Voice Recorder. Hold on. Can you hear me? And he won it all. You are my universe. So what I was going to say was just, you know, give this a listen and kick back and relax.
on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. Without any shoes on, he's coming to my table. He wants me to buy a bracelet for just $1. And his eyes are sad and beautiful, his face a little too deep. He wants a piece of America so he can feed his family on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. That's where my heart is, on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. Into a small hotel room, it's out on the ocean. Down the street in one room shack, there's a family with 7 children. Look up at the stars, there's another constellation. The sea riding for children and a nation on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. That's where my heart is, on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. On the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. That's where my heart is, on the island, island of women, Isla Mujeres. Isla Mujeres. Mary lives in a bus shelter, corner church and queen. She says in broken English, she got nowhere else to be. She's from a town in Germany, she left before the war. And Mary's only crime was being rude. Her husband was a tailor, he had to stay behind. He tried to get his parents out, Mary thinks they died. Now she spends her nights alone, freezing in the cold. Mary's only crime is being rude. walking down.
One says hello, one says goodbye. One things I don't understand makes me feel like paper man. At night I get down on my knees and pray. I love will make that other man go away, but it'll never say goodbye. Till your face is dry. Last night as I kissed you at the willow tree, he swore to take your love away from me. Wasn't the wind in the great fields after rushing through my heart. No, no, baby. Baby, it was you.
For some reason I was compelled to turn that song on. I guess because that song turned me on, and now it's time to turn off and take our leave. Anyway, there you have it. No, I was just thinking maybe do a documentary on the Dorset Bruins, right? Dorset. We'll just call it Dorset Park. You know, and it was that team that was really, you know, there's a lot of energy there, right? And speaking of which, I cannot find at this moment in my existence my credit card. Oh my God! Believe in plastic only if you can find it. There it is. And if you find it detrimental to believe in love after life, the one thing I have to do, okay, is make some phone calls to I don't know who. Okay, see you later. I was just saying to myself and my pinner here that I'm just in my bedroom here. I guess this would be my... Oh, no, it's not my bedroom. It's, but it all feels like one big bedroom, right? You know. You sleep here. You dream here. You smoke here. And you read here. And one of the books that I haven't read, many of the books, I have not read most of the books, well, I've read like paragraphs out of a few. So I thought, why put them to waste? You know, why not video the covers instead? But one of these covers is a beautiful cover, which I connect with. It's a picture. Well, it's a superimposed picture. Quite in a sepia tone. Don't you love that word, sepia? Sepia. Sepia. Where does the word sepia come from? You know? It's like aquamarine. You know? Who does the labeling? Where do labels begin? So, I'm looking at this cover, and for all I know, he could be playing a cover. But it doesn't matter because he is one with his instrument, the tree, the branches, the leaves, the guitar, the strings, the fingers, all become one in lyric voices, approaches to the poetry of contemporary song. Present. Present. Why is it called the present, my friend? Because it is a present. It is a gift. And what else really matters? I mean, yeah, tomorrow is tomorrow, and we've got stuff to do tomorrow. But, you know, what we do today affects what we do tomorrow. You know, I find it amazing that we're so concerned with keeping our streets clean here in Toronto, you know, and our reputation up as a good place to visit, as a world-class city. That is important. But what about the rest of the world, and the rest of the cities, and villages, and voices unheard? So, the writers of this are Graves and McBain. I don't know where I think I bought this in New York City. I don't know where I bought it, but I love the cover, and I did buy it for $6, definitely used, because it has a 6 on the 6. Now, what do we say here? Oh, you know why I bought it. I'll tell you why. My mom hates when I cough. I'm sorry, Mom. I'll try and edit that bit out. But we do live in a sick society, you know, and so, and then we, the ones sometimes who we perceive as being ill, they are the leaders of this world. Listen to the wise ones. Shut them out at your peril. My grandmother taught me that. Wisdom of the elders. Anyway, what was I talking about? The reason I bought this book, and I'm almost positive I bought it in New York, is because I took a look at the songs in here. I mean, I just took a quick glance, because actually I did buy this in New York. I know I did, because I went there for musical theater writing. I thought, okay, all right, I'm learning the sort of American musical theater, but what about other kinds of songs, you know? I mean, I'm here to learn, to bring music and theater together, right? I didn't know how purely, it did focus on other things, though. We did some stuff from, you know, we did Brecht, we did, you know, some stuff from other cultures and time periods for sure. I don't know, we didn't do any Canadian musicals. We did do a Canadian thing, though. This thing that started in French. They're right, he's right. There is a tradition there. Actually, one of the most exciting moments for me, one of the most authentic moments for me, was right at the beginning of the year. Fred had invited these two, I think there were two, there may have been three. I think there were two. These two African women to come and share their culture, their story, or a specific little part of that story, whatever, how many stories we all have, to share something of themselves and their emotional connection to themselves, each other, and the world around them. And it was absolutely incredible. So anyway, where was I going here? Chapter 1, Electric Orphic Circuit. That's what it starts with. That's got to grab your attention. Chapter 2, I and Thou. Okay? Remember, one of my favorite books in undergrad was Martin Buber's I and Thou. Now, they don't tell you that's where it comes from, but, you know, these are spiritual songs. Donovan Leitch, Widow and Shaw, with Shaw. Bob Dylan, Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowlands. Mick Jagger, Keith Richard, and Andrew Loog Oldham, As Tears Go By. Jim Morrison, People Are Strange. Hey, that's no way to say goodbye. How long, spoonful, I give you the morning. Moonchild, celebration for a gray day. Since you've asked, Supergirl. Spanish Harlem. Sally, go round the roses. Just lonely? Are you blue? If I were a carpenter. Albatross. Dragon song. Community. Story of Isaac. Where have all the flowers gone? Continuing story of Bungalow Bill. The clan for what it's worth. Now that the buffalo's gone. My country's, 'tis of thy people you're dying. Tin Can Alley, stories of the street, the gates of Eden. Nobody's buying flowers from the flower lady. All along the watchtower, portrait of a lady. Suburbs of Eden. 12:30. The end. Atlantis, Black Panther squared, the sounds of silence in the penny dropping lane. Paint it black, paint the whole universe black with Keith and Nick and John Paul Keith. Gray slick shades of pale, a whiter shade of Leonard, the butcher, the stranger, the crucifixion of Phil Oakes. With Suzanne along the highway, dreaming of California, and brilliant birds shitting on my pen. Leonard's birds wiring me a message from above throughout October. My song is where your love like heaven, and the tinker and the crab and the starfish on the toast, and the lullaby of spring. Because the Isle of Islay is no Hampstead accident. It is an incident at Coayardi there. So briefly, what I was saying about voices, I just had to shut that off for a second, was basically, I'd like to call the company Voices. You know, it's simple. It's not like, the Village Voice, because that's like so there's only one. It's a village, not villages, so it's only one, and it's a voice, not a voices, so it's only one, right? Here we got many voices in many villages. You times that times, exponential numbers, you got a pretty bad mosaic. So anyway, that's why I wanted to call it Voices. Plus, voices are great, right? Someone once told me it's okay to listen to them, just don't answer back. Well, You know. Jeez. That's just a monologue, man. You want to play some jazz, you start answering. Anyway, I gotta get going because it's, 9:13 in the morning. I think I've been a little bit manic lately. But, you know what? I really think, to be honest, one could suggest that this is a bit of mania, going to bed at 1:30, you know, waking up at 9 a.m. But, you know what? I haven't felt this good in a long time. And I think getting in touch with my emotions, getting off the Paxil, which basically numbed me for however long I was on it, at least 2 years. God. What was I going to say? And reading about this stuff recently, this, what's it called? Unusually sensitive people. No, highly insensitive, highly sensitives, and highly insensitive. And we need both, right? We need both. And that's where it all breaks down, right? Because I think being able to not let emotions get the best of you is very necessary in this world, in certain areas. In others, it's very necessary to be as directly in touch and as emotionally vulnerable with your feelings as possible. And directly in touch, like I said, you know. But if you're in touch, you're going to be vulnerable, right? Right? Because there's that connection. It's like wiring, right? You know, there's a spark, and you either, you know, if you feel the spark, you know, you could try to, like, cognitively convince yourself that there's no emotional reaction. But you can only, and some people are able to. Some people maybe just don't have that ability to connect that spark. And that's an extremely useful ability in other parts of our world. So what I was going to say was, geez, I can't even remember. That's the great thing about tape recorders. You don't have to. Oh yeah, so I've been feeling better lately. I don't feel like there's something wrong with me now. I feel like, my God, I actually have something special, you know. And when we look at mental illness, you know, look at a character like the fool in Shakespeare. Everyone thought he was nuts, but Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist. And I think will always be. Maybe not. Well, or maybe of his time, the way he created. But what I'm suggesting is that the emotional intelligence that we see in artists today was there in Shakespeare then. To write a character like Hamlet, to devise a plot whereby you create a show, to create a reaction. Oh no, you don't want to do that, do you? What do we want to do? Make people feel good, entertain. Well, you know, that was incredible. He made the theater a courtroom. I was just thinking, well, what if it's, like, you know, not, you know, and I probably said this in so many different other ways, you know, as Peter Lynch would say, but what if it's not really, you know, like the mentally ill and the physically ill? What if they're all just, or we're all just like shamans, you know, that we are sort of vessels, you know, that we take on for some reason or something. You know, where does illness come from, right? Where does cancer come from? Where does the heartbeat come from? You know, where does bipolar illness come from? what a trip to go on the highest highs and the lowest lows. Wow. If that's a trip, I want to be on it. That's very good, David, as my friend George Lady Train would say. That's very good, David. But Billy Bragg, my buddy Billy back in England, but Billy would say that oh my God, my accent's lousy, but it doesn't really matter what you're saying as long as you're saying it somehow, how. Billy Bragg. It's not that if you've got a blacklist, I want to be on it. If you've got a trip, I want to be on it. The idea of being on something, of being on something special. Breathe it and be good. Feels the way it should. Please hold me in his arms again wide in the night. Has he already taken my destiny? Oh, evil man. Oh, evil man. There you have it. Today is, I don't know, it's getting close to my birthday, my 36th birthday. So anyway, do you call it Herald's, or do you call it Sal's? Sal's would be a socialist artist liaison. A socialist artist liaison. We're like a clearinghouse. And it's also a place to hang out where people can feel comfortable and safe. Sal's. No, I don't know. What do you call it? SAC, or Socialist Artists Collective? Liaison. That's liaison for independent film and television. That's a smart word. Are you a liaison, or are you more of an action group? Do you bring people together? Well, you do, but what is, to what degree do you take responsibility for the productions and the content and, all that stuff, point of view, who gets hurt? These are all political decisions. The idea of creating a safe space that is much larger than a booth at City TV, where people whose views may not support what City TV or other big corporations are about have a chance to voice themselves. Right? Lefties is a good name. So is Herald's. Maybe Herald. Maybe within Herald's you can have, like this GTA cafe could be part of it. You could have, the GTA cafe. You could have the cooking show. You could have, you could have, or maybe you call it the GTA cafe, and within that, you've got all the, stuff. And you can create Herald TV. You don't need a television deal or a license to have a thing called Herald TV. If you can get someone like Paul to have showings there once a week, and do a deal with him that's comfortable, I think that would be really exciting. And, or maybe a place where you can serve alcohol, that might be important. But then again, you got this other place that you want to create, right? It's like this home, a big home for people who don't have a home, like stray cats, And you have books there, and music, and instruments, and it's big enough that people can, I don't know, you could have different groups hanging out, and then something could become a focal point. You could have cameras there all the time, and people sign when they walk in that they will be, that they're part of this if they want to be, or not sign right. No, maybe privacy is important. Maybe there is an area that if people, if they want to bring the camera over, and then they talk, and then they can sign a release. I don't know, we'll figure it out. And it's got an area in there where there's video, and a couple, some sort of video editing area, and it's open 24 hours. And there's always people there, right? There's always people there. I think that's really important. And what else? Yeah. Artists, you could have a visual, do some sort of music therapy can go on there. Art therapy can go on there. All kinds of stuff. And we could call it camp. That's the other thing, you call it camp. That's the space where people get to play. Camp is basically a place where people get to go and be away from their traditional upbringing and be more amongst their peers and away from the pressures of parents and society, for that matter. There are no, televisions there. There are, I guess movie nights once in a while, but it's all about getting back in touch with nature and with community and music and, the open flame. That's what we'll call it, the open flame. Charbroiled burgers and culture. Charbroiled tofu and culture. I don't know. There's so many names you could call it, right? But camp, the other thing about camp is, camp can mean a number of things. In the queer community, camp is, a style, a theatrical style. In politics, camp is defines who you have allegiances to. And what else? Camp, camp is like sitting around the campfire. It has an informality to it. It's free. It's not about the product. It's just about improvisation, sharing. Oh, you pass me the guitar, I'll play one. Okay, oh yeah, I think I know it. And you just go with it. Camp is about what are you bringing to the party, right? It's just about you bring the marshmallows, you bring this, you bring that, and there you have it. So, there's all kinds of possibilities. I do get excited, and that word came to me just a few days ago when I was doing my laundry. And I walked over to do my laundry on Ulster, and it had rained the night before, and it smelled like camp. And it still does. I got to go out there today because it's raining again today, and there's so much lushness. I want lots of flowers, and I want that place to. You could turn that into also a flower shop. My mom can sell the flowers. And we'll have soup there, a little kitchen where we have soup and simple stuff like that, and fresh fruit, like fruit salad and stuff like that. Real simple. You don't have to cook necessarily, but if we can have some cooked food, that'd be good. But we got to do it simple, right? So that's your sort of base, right? Then the other thing to do is to cover the city, right, from a left-wing perspective. That's the other thing I want to do. And engage people, artists, let's say actors, writers, journalists, videographers, people who want to do,
wigs and stuff like that. We can create a wardrobe that we could house it at the place where people could come and sign stuff out, right? So you sign stuff out, you sign out cameras too. So it becomes again, it's bringing together, you know, different things. You know, it's like Buddies meets Speaker's Corner meets you know, some sort of weekly television show that is out in the world, kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like inspired by a bit of the point of view of this week has 22 minutes. Because I think we can do it, and we don't. We need a startup. We need some money to start it. Do we need sponsorship? I don't know. Where does money come from? And we'll talk about that. I've got some thoughts on that I'll share. But what was the other thing? Yeah, so it's sort of like, yeah, and a place like here in New York, it reminds me a lot of Buddies, you know, and that sort of pushing the boundaries and making sure that humor is a part of it, and then bringing in music. Music has to be a big part of it. Grossman's, that kind of, you know, rock and roll energy, or things that are also lyric driven and about people from the street, people who have been somehow marginalized by the mainstream camps, like Wahanoan or, you know, whatever. These are the people whose parents can't necessarily afford to send them to camp, so they get their camp in the city, you know. And squeegee kids who have maybe come from their own camps, their own hoods, their own bands, their own families, and needed to come to the city to get away and go to camp, which to me is interesting too, when you get those energies mixing, you know, on an equal playing field, where everyone sort of has, unfortunately, a common enemy, which is the system. It's not the people, it's the system. The people have become the system. They have adapted unknowingly because they haven't questioned it, or they have, but they don't see beyond it. They don't see 100, 200, 300 years from now. They don't see it, or they don't care. And that is, quite frankly, is inexcusable, because those 20% are wrecking it for the other 80. And I want to tap into the 80%. Maybe you can call it 80%, you know, and talk to Jason about that. Anyway, I got to get going now. Have a good day. I'll see you later.
Even if we admire them, we think what they know or what they've had as a people is museum piece. I think they have relevant contributions to make to a modern world, spiritual insights, even scientific knowledge that we don't have and they do, because they've been on their land for 1,000 years, focusing their human intelligence. So by going up there, by experiencing the Arctic the hard way, without the Inuits' help, one full cycle of seasons, then we create this common language, not English perhaps, but a common language of experience. Then I have some insight into the Inuit.
So you're a listener?
I hope a doer and a listener, because personally I enjoy the physical challenge. The colder I got, the happier I got.
Oh, sure. Would you like me to show you some of the marked pages where you were not quite so happy, where you were blind,
there were
delirious from carbon monoxide, bears coming through the hatch, frozen in? This is your book. You should be telling these stories, not me. I mean, it was claustrophobic.
In some ways. And yet it was expansive in others. People don't realize how beautiful the Arctic is. I feel I wouldn't have made it through if I had been in some gravel plain that was just cold. Quite the contrary, I'd walk out, I'd be lonely, I haven't seen a human in 3 months, it's been dark for 3, and I look up and there's stars shining on an 18-mile glacier, and there are moments then I turn it right around and think, how many people on this earth have ever had the privilege of seeing anything so beautiful and have this wilderness all to themselves? Of course, then an hour later, I'd be depressed and have
Plunged into despair yet again. But see, if you know that, the war will be over, if you know that you will end up safely then you can relax. It's after the fact that you are relaxing safer. You can say, I should have enjoyed it more. Ain't that the truth, huh? Yeah. Anyway, I'll come back in a minute and talk to Elvis Simon some more about his remarkable book.
Don't rough it this summer. Visit your Ontario Ford dealer for a great selection of family vehicles, like the Focus wagon for $259 a month, the Taurus wagon for $289 a month, and the Ford Windstar. Right now, purchase any Windstar for 0% financing, or lease the Windstar LX with quad bucket seats and AC for the new low payment of $269 a month. For the best selection of...
I wasn't alone. You know, they say there's no atheists in foxholes. It'd be the same for the Arctic. I felt a guiding hand that got me through some terrible things.
I think it's remarkable that you survived it, frankly. But you could have ended it all, but you chose, you were tough. Tough enough to get through the really rough times. Like when you couldn't get out of the boat because you were frozen in there. That was the thing that scared me the most.
I know, but I had read literally meters of bookshelf about the Arctic, and all that data was subliminally lodged in the back of my brain. Something would happen, and I'd remember how some old Inuit 200 years ago had solved the problem. And I'd adapt it to my modern personal context, and I didn't get through this alone. I got through it with the history and help of the Inuit and this guiding hand.
And also the mistakes of a lot of crazy Englishmen.
That's right.
I can't thank you enough. It was such a pleasure to read this book. Are you named after Edison?
No, my Irish grandfather who drank too much. And
well. Elvis Simon, maybe you come again.
Thank you.
I really appreciate coming today. Author of this tremendous book, North to the Night. Next Thursday on the show, some music with Tara McLean.
Conviction or the plausibility of what's being said. If you mean what you say, it doesn't matter the fluency, the conviction or the eloquence of very strong people on emotional topics overwhelms language, it overwhelms this camera, it overwhelms all microphones. Tasha easily referenced, we did a piece in Saskatchewan. The farmer we highlighted there, he won't take this as offensive, is not a great talker. But there were moments when he spoke about what he was involved in that surpasses the eloquence of Lincoln or Martin Luther King, because he really means it. He is so focused in that particular conviction. And it doesn't matter. Language is not the heart of eloquence. Conviction is. And in his case, he's a classic example that if anybody in a large room listened to that man and then wanted to stand up and speak after him, the person who wanted to stand up afterwards is a fool. You can't do it.
Obviously, you were there to do a story of crisis in farm life.
Yeah. The family farm in Saskatchewan, it tagged me in a certain kind of way. I've had a small bit of experience in the exotic east coast of this country.
Farming? Well, that was your first mistake.
Well, this farm greenhouse was a large mistake. Yeah. Growing cucumbers, Monica's dream date.
Rex, you villain.
Brian Peckford's $27 million fantasy. We'll leave that alone. The experience I was referring to is the East Coast fishery. And in a way, what's going on in Saskatchewan and the prairies, we had to focus because of television. The crisis in the family farms and the battering that small farmers are having across the prairies is something. Obviously, you have to make some changes. Something of a recapitulation of what we saw on the East Coast with the inshore fishery. And the fact that this problem on the prairies could accumulate, it's at least a 3 to 4 to 5 year run. It's not something new and that sparked out of some innocent cloud. It's been around for a long while. And some of those people are under the most drastic stresses, both financially, emotionally, and within their own families. They're legion. The numbers are very great. It's an occupation that is tied in with the history and myth of the country. And yet, like another couple of issues, it seems just to sit there. Because it hasn't got the glamour of high protest or because it's not some exotic cause, they can walk by.
Well, how exotic does it have to be if you can't feed your nation? Well, in fish and as in growing things.
It's a very, very good question. Canadians put a lot of stock on the fact that certain essential and primary resources kind of wove their way in, A, to the construction of values. People who work hard, play by the rules, do decent work about real stuff, not television.
No. We know what this is.
This isn't work, and we both know it.
Yes.
But those who do that and have done it for 100 or more years contributed something to the pattern and texture of the country. So when something central like that occupies decent people, no one questions that, is being threatened, heritage being chopped off, or individual lives being rather brutalized, why isn't there a response? Why aren't parliaments open, for example? Why do these things wait till the very crest of a calamity or the crest of a crisis before you get significant notice?
But is that not human nature? I mean, I think...
No, that's human political nature.
Right. Very good point. But the thing is, I think that people, you may say it's political, but people put things off. You put off taking out the garbage. You put off doing things that look like they're going to be tough. And this is not easy.
That's fair to a point. I've mixed in politics. I've watched it. I've been in the zoo and I've been outside the zoo. So I know the animals and I know their patterns. And I do understand. You don't seek perfections and you don't seek instant and perfect responses. But if it's 1 year, okay, I'll let you have a pass. The inshore fishery in Newfoundland, as an example only, began to show signs of crisis, signs of impending calamity about 1982-83. There were reports, there were inshore fishermen surveys. It went on year after year after year after year after year. And then finally, the dramatic day, Mr. Crosby was the official instrument of that particular thing. He's really good as an official instrument. He came down and he announced the closure of the Newfoundland fishery. Then it was a crisis. You have the farming situation in Saskatchewan. Yeah, I'd let it go for 1 year or 2 years. But they've been talking this, showing this, bringing this to the attention of all of the society that counts out there, politically and otherwise. It's in the 5th year. So why is it? And we have the case down now, the most recent one that's been going on this week, is the business on the East Coast, where we have a judgment heading towards the Supreme Court months back. Now, the judges are going to decide either this way or that. So we know...
A or B.
We know the result. So do they. Parliament knows that if it's this way, you're going to have this collision. There's no question about this. This is not only foreseeable, it's inevitable. So they know this is going to happen. They've seen where certain Supreme Court decisions have teased conflicts before. So you have a federal minister of fisheries, you have the government of Nova Scotia, you have the federal parliament, you have an alert press. Why don't these things then have some amount of foresight attached? Instead, earlier this week, last Sunday, you had trucks being burned, nets being cut. I don't think that procrastination and human nature fully accounts for something when it reaches the public domain.
Especially where it was as plain as the nose on somebody's face.
I hope not as plain as the one of this. But
well, you have a very modest nose.
Well, we let it go.
You wait. You have to wait now. You know what? I have to stop. You must be the only person in the... No, you're coming back. In the world that can tell him to stop. Rex Murphy. He'll be back to the minute. Next Monday, the Baywatch on show David Hasselhoff.
Hey, school's around here, son?
Yeah, they got a school just 2 blocks down.
Here it is.
What do you think, Dad?
The backyard is a ravine.
Jack, hot tub.
Come on. You guys are going to be really happy there.
Dad, this isn't our house.
What do you mean? We bought it for you. For us? Just imagine. Triscuit crackers are tasty whole wheat, so they stay nice and crunchy when they're heated up. Triscuit crackers, you melt over them.
SavingYouMoney.com. Coupons for just about anything.
Does this sound familiar?
Fred, the laundry pipes are leaking again.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Uh-oh, the roof's leaking again. Didn't you fix it?
What's up there again? I know I fixed it. Let's see here.
What have you done?
I'm trying to fix the stove.
That's it, I'm calling home too.
Call him. Get your job done right at a fair price. And give your friend a break today. For your free brochure, call us now.
SavingYouMoney.com. Coupons for just about anything. Close Closed captioning on CTV is brought to you in part by Unico, bringing real taste home.
This month on the show, the rock band 5440, Weird Al Yankovic as well, the contemporary sounds of Afro-Celt sound system, and Broadway actor Brent Carver. For free tickets, call us at 604-609-5766 or email us at gabereau@ctv.ca. You know, Rex Murphy and I were just talking about how TV really isn't working, and if you were my co-host, I wouldn't have to do a thing. I could just say, and furthermore...
Well, you can be embarrassed after the show.
I don't think so. So when you come out to British Columbia on occasion, and you are a son of the other side,
yes,
what do you think? We have equally oddball politics.
Well, that truly is unhappy. I thought for the longest time, in fact, I was hoping to have copyright on it, that Newfoundland had the most extravagant, the most outrageous, and the most demented politics on the North American continent.
But now...
But I'm sad to report you guys are giving us a good run. I'd say from Van der Zam to Mr. Clark,